Hey everyone, today I wanted to do a video where I try to do basically a scallop right here on the Gen 3 Glock. With my hands the size they are on the large frame Glock 21, sometimes I have a really hard time getting to that magazine release. And I've seen a lot of places where people will actually scallop that out. For example, Boresight Solutions, I know they do that, and I know a bunch of other places do that. But instead of sending mine out, since I've already done plenty of work on my own, I figure I'll just go ahead and try to do it myself. So what you can see that I've done so far, basically by using pictures that I looked at online, I got a rough outline that I sketched out with a pencil and then kind of taped off just so I give myself a very definite line to try to stay within. But one of the first things we're going to want to grind down is this little ramp right here. Normally on the regular Gen 3s or even Gen 4s, you have a little indentation up here, a little ridge, and then it flattens back out. To show you on my Glock 19 here, you know, this is more what it would look like normally. So I got to take that down, basically even that out, and then I'll cut around to scallop out that section. So again, my intended goal here is to make it much easier to access that magazine release without getting an extended mag release, which could accidentally actuate and drop my mag. So the first thing I'm going to do now that I've got this taped up is basically take this thing apart, take all the components out, especially this magazine release, because if I just grind that down, then there's no reason to do what I'm doing. So I'm going to go ahead and take this thing down. If you need a video to demonstrate how to take these down, until I do one in the future myself, I'll probably just link to another person who's done it, but I do plan on doing it myself in the future. Alright, so at this point I've got it pretty much all the way taken down. So what I'm going to be using, just to let you know what tools I'm going to be using, probably should have thrown this out at the beginning, but I got a Dremel. I'm going to have a rough sanding drum, a medium, and then a more fine sanding drum. Then I got the contoured one to help try to get any fine angles that I want to do. And then I got various grits of sandpaper ranging from 150 to 2000 to hopefully give it a nice polish, a nice smooth edge afterward. And then basically back here where I'm smoothing it out, I'll probably just go back over with a soldering iron and stipple it out and make it match the rest of it. Now another thing I may break that up into a different video, but I do occasionally have issues with the mags not dropping free. So one thing I'm thinking of doing is scalloping out this section right here, just to make it a lot easier for my support hand to come in and strip that mag out. I may do that in this video. If not, you will see that in another video if you're looking for it. Big thing here, especially with grinding this stuff, make sure you're wearing eye protection. Little bits can start flying out. And anyway, now that safety's out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so at this point I kind of want to do a test fit, so I basically installed the magazine release back in there, and with a regular firing grip, it definitely is easier, but I think I want to take a little bit more out around the bottom of it, and maybe even recess this back a little bit further. The hard thing is making sure that you don't go too deep with your scallop and go into your magazine well. Obviously that's a bad thing that we want to avoid, so basically keep working this, maybe push this down a little bit further, and then yeah, then I'll pick up from there. So at this point what I'm going to do is, again, remove that magazine release. I'm just going to polish it up with some finer sandpaper. Once it's all nice and polished up, I'm just going to go ahead and stipple back around it, create a nice line, and then stipple back over where this thumb ramp was. Alright, so at this point, I think I like where it's at. I can definitely tell where the line is that I'm going to basically follow around it. So at this point, I'm going to take the tape back off and basically do my final fitting, and then I'm going to go ahead and stipple back around it. So to go ahead and describe what I'm going to do while my soldering iron heats up, I'm basically going to redraw the line basically around where I want that scallop to really be, and then I'm just going to fill back this area in with the sprinkles. One nice thing about this style of stippling is because of the randomness to it, it's going to be very easy to just kind of fill that gap back in. So once my soldering iron heats up, I'm going to go ahead and get back into this, and then we'll see how it goes. Alright, so at this point you can see, you can probably tell exactly where I stippled it, just because it's nice and fresh. However, understand over time that will wear itself back down and basically blend in with the rest of it. So at this point I'm going to go ahead and throw it back together and see exactly how it feels with everything where it's supposed to be. Alright, and so there we have the final product. Go ahead and zoom out here. I really like the way this feels. It's a huge improvement over the way it was before, which isn't really saying much because again I have kind of shorter hands, so it makes it a lot easier to access that, which is something again I had some issues with before. Now obviously it doesn't look as good as if you have someone professional do it. However, it's significantly cheaper for me to do this myself than to send it out. So again, I may alter it in the future. I may continue to tinker around with this thing, but for right now, this is a vast improvement over where it was. So I'm pretty satisfied. And again, I'll probably in the future, probably later today, even scallop this part out to be able to get to the magazines a little bit easier. And if I do that, I'll go ahead and do a video on that as well. And then on my Glock 19, I need to also undercut the trigger guard, so I'll probably make a video doing that as well, just so you guys can see exactly what that process looks like. So anyway, hopefully this was insightful for you guys. The big thing is, before you try doing anything like this on an actual firearm, I highly recommend you do it on something that you're going to be less attached to. For me, I started out using old AR grips or Magpul mags, just to get the stippling down, just to kind of get my confidence up before actually doing something like this. So again, before you start permanently altering your firearms, I highly recommend you practice somewhere, wherever that is, or whatever you're going to practice on, but get familiar with it before you actually try to go gung-ho. But anyway, as always, I hope you were able to get something out of this video, and I really appreciate you watching.